excited to have my next guest on the show. Some of y'all may recognize him as Cookie's daddy on the hit show Empire or Officer Hiller on Chicago PD. Ray Austin is a former professional football player for the Chicago Bears. He is also an established actor and model, becoming Ariet's International's official model in 2019. Austin is also a co founder of the Fan Controlled Football Sports and Entertainment, FCF, the latest hot mobile sports technology platform. FCF is the world's first fan run pro sports and entertainment company. Fan Controlled Football has received a great amount of press, including publications in GQ, Slate Magazine, Sports Illustrated Online, Pardon the Interruption, Fox Sports, Fortune, Forbes, the New York Times, and the Wall Street Journal, just to name a few. The FCF and Ray Austin show no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Welcome, my guest, Ray Austin, to the show. Whoa, man, what's up?
What is up? How you doing? What up, Keith
I
Squid?
Oh, that's it. Wow, man, this is a treat for me to have you on the show. I met you way back in 1999, I think it
98,
was.
99. Yeah, it's been a damn
Yeah,
man. Wow,
I know.
that's crazy.
I know. Almost 20 something one
20,
years.
almost 20 years. Yeah, man,
Yeah,
that's
don't
crazy. That's
let me
crazy.
do any math. But but yeah, we met each other back in the day when we both were part of the Chicago Bears organization. It's so crazy because at that time, man, I didn't even know you had all of this genius in you at that time. I just knew you were a hell of a safety on the field. So to see all of this that you're doing now is just it's amazing, and I'm so happy to be talking about it with you today.
Oh man, I appreciate it. It's been a blessing. I can't even lie. It's been fun. Everything has been just a journey. Doing it all. It's not always been great, but it's been a great journey. I'm glad. The universe picked me to do it. So
Awesome, awesome. So let's get started. So can you tell my listeners and viewers a little bit about yourself?
a little bit about myself. Okay. uh,
That which I know is a lot, but
yeah.
just give them a little bit.
Yeah, went to the University of Tennessee. That's another other way we kind of know each other. He was at
Yep,
South Carolina.
SEC.
Yeah, went there. Was there when Peyton was there. So I had some really good football back then. Was drafted to the New York Jets with Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick. Spent some time there, and then I got traded to Chicago, which I just kind of fell in love with. Chicago's just been it ended up being home because my dad was military, so we traveled all over the world. So, finally having a place to call home was like, all right, let me do it, because most athletes either, go back to where they grew up or college or
That's
where they
right.
last played. So,
Yeah,
I said, man, let me see if I can get something going here. I didn't want to go back to University of Tennessee. I didn't want to go back there.
yeah,
So, if you got a little bit of brain in Chicago, you can make some money. So,
that's true.
yeah. And then I jumped in a lot of different stuff. Like first thing was sports performance, because I was really had a passion for kids and training kids. So we trained over 900 kids all around the Illinois area. Three guys made it into the NFL. Did that for a while, and I've always had this passion to model it, to really more so model than act. But you don't look like the chiseled dudes on the runway. Sometimes you may like, what? Maybe I can't do it. So went to a place called Stewart Talent in Chicago, probably one of the best talent agencies in the Midwest. They have also a location in Atlanta and New York. They literally have groomed. It was like they knew me. It was like love at first sight. Like
Wow.
they knew me so well, how to kind of, I think I take football in a lot of stuff that I do. And I think, I was never the fastest, the strongest, or the biggest,
Yeah.
but I was just coachable. You know what I'm saying? You tell me what to do,
Mm,
boom, I'll do it exactly how you put my hand here, put my got it. And
exactly.
and I think that's what made, I just listened to what they said,
Yeah.
and the modeling took off like that. Like it was crazy.
Wow.
It was just like I was on this, and then they were like, man, let's get him in front of the camera. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's, just see if he can go up and do any commercials. And within 2 weeks, I booked my first commercial.
Dang.
and it was a national commercial. It was a huge spot, and I was like, this is what's up. I can do this type of thing, and it just grew from there. It was just like then I knew this was a craft. I'm like,
Yeah.
you go into so many auditions, and then you book and people gonna know who you are. They start, okay, what's up? That's oh boy. I mean, I saw that deal you did, man. Congratulations. And so you start getting into the groups, but then you start to understand like it's a craft. Like I can come up here and smile and do this and do that, and when they want me to do this, but when you start going up for, hey Ray, you did it. You did a Verizon commercial last week.
Mm-hmm.
We got something for you for Prison Break. I mean, sorry, what is that? Prison Break? Is that a commercial? No, that's an actual show. It's on Fox, and you're gonna, we want you to play a prison guard. And I'm like, I just do the commercial stuff. So, and then that's what I kind of
you over there. You almost blocked your blessing.
Man, just didn't like just being kind of once like, no, this works for me. I'm good.
Yeah.
And then that's when I started to understand, like in the industry, you gotta be a talent. You can't be a model or an actor you gotta be a talent, because if you're a talent, when that phone rings, you don't know what they're calling you for. You know what I'm saying? So I've done commercials on camera, photo shoots. I done did hand modeling. I done voiceovers for the U.S. Army. So that's the way I tell all the models and talent that I run into. I was like, man, stop calling yourself a model. If you're a model, you need to be taking acting classes now, because once the modeling kind of dries up, then that's your next transition. So that's what I did. I went and took some acting classes with an awesome teacher. She was so great. Catherine Head. She was she actually was the casting director for ER back in the day. And my agent was like, we got somebody for you. And I went and met with her, and she was like, oh my gosh, you're a natural. And I'm like, okay.
And you really are. Now that I think back to our times back in Chicago and our times, I mean, you were. I mean, you're just naturally like just easygoing, and like you said, coachable. And I see that in you, being able to shift and to shape yourself for what they're asking you to do. But was always an entertainer for sure.
Yeah, it's that's what I've learned the most, because and that was hard for me at first, because you gotta remember, when you're on set now, it's like now I'm so comfortable, but back in the day it would just be like, man, I'm acting like this weird thing, or I'm crying, or these people are watching me. But you realize that everybody's there doing the same job,
doing the same thing.
They're not really even concerned about you. They could literally have most of the production could care less about who you are or what you're doing. Like, that's just a part of the game,
It's part of it. So did you ever think you would be an actor, model? I mean, was that ever something that you wanted to do? Like, where did the passion come from, other than just, okay, I'm going to go try this out? Was there something before that?
Yeah, I mean, I tried it actually in New York, but that's when I was playing, so I could never work. I ended up signing with Wilhelmina when I was with the Jets, and but nothing ever came out of it. So I was just like, because I couldn't make an audition, I couldn't go to a casting. They were like, oh, you got to be at this cast at 2:00. I'm like, man, I got to practice. What you talking about?
Exactly.
So it had to be something I had to wait for. But man, I tell everybody this, man. I used to look up to, Jim Brown, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be straight up honest. O.J. Simpson.
Yeah,
because
no doubt.
I saw
He
them
was a
on
great
TV.
actor.
Yeah, I saw them on
was a great
TV.
actor.
And I'm like, man, they played football and they was on TV acting.
That's
I'm like,
right.
that's dope, So I've always had it in the back of my mind, but I never knew that I was going to go out and do it.
And you go, okay, makes sense. So you had your career in the NFL, and now you've transitioned to modeling, acting. So, and like you said, you looked up to the football players who transitioned into acting as well. How did your football career either prepare you or not prepare you for an acting career? Are there any similarities or anything in between those two industries?
1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, 1,000%. But people on set ask me all the time, man, like, which is harder, acting or playing ball? Mm-hmm. I'm saying acting. And they're like, really? Yeah. I'm like, man, I was born with these hands. You know what I'm saying?
Football is
I was born to do that.
Physical talent.
Yeah,
acting is something you have to consciously come to.
Yes, you gotta become something that may not be you, and that was something I had to learn. But the thing that I take into acting that I do with playing ball, is the competitiveness. That if you want to be the biggest part, I'm gonna be honest with you, the biggest part about me being being wanting to be an actor in the mouth because it was so competitive. It is
Yeah.
it is 300 people up for one role. Somebody got
Okay.
to eat. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that made me I missed that from playing ball. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, like the locker room wasn't none but just alpha dogs up in there, just everybody just trying to get it.
Absolutely.
And when I would go into auditions, I was the same way. So I would be staring at dudes like, "What's up, man?
Right.
Good luck in there," but I was so and guys, not I'm making fun of it, but guys they used to hate that. They were like,
Oh, they
"Man,
were. I bet. I'm sure they were intimidated.
dude comes in here so confident, man. I just did. It was just like that was ingrained in me with
Sure.
football. It
Sure.
was. I'm not nervous. I come into the door. Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving. Like, all right, I see y'all. And I walk out like, boo, that's a good fragrance up in there. I hate for you to go in there and mess that up, brother. but that's how I was, and I always said I was gonna get it. Once I
I
started
love it.
getting so many, I just was like, if I didn't get it, something was wrong. Like that's
Yeah.
how I was in that
Yeah.
mentality for a long time. But it put me in a good place to be confident because in this industry, you got to be confident. You
Yeah, I was
cannot
gonna
do this.
say. I was gonna say it also reminds me of football as well, especially with you playing in the secondary, right?
Yeah,
Because I mean, you got to have a short memory.
bad
You
memory,
got to,
bad memory,
you missed a play, you missed a tackle or whatever. You can't take that with you into that next play. So
and
I
that's what
imagine
a
it's
lot
this.
of people they I call what they fall in love with the role,
Mm,
and they get the audition, and then they get the call back, and then it's like you on first refusal. They got you on hold, and then you don't get it.
mm,
That's a 3-week process
yeah.
that you in that torture, and then no, you don't get it, and then they go with somebody or somebody bigger than you. And me, it's hard, man. You be like,
Yeah.
man, is this what I supposed to be doing in life? Like, what's
Right.
going on? And you get to those so many times, but I'm telling you, man, the people that have that bad memory, like, oh, I get that, never happened.
Mhm.
Go now.
Mhm.
I'm already on to the next one, and
Yeah.
and and having that mentality will make you last way longer than any other way.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So I remember the first time I saw you on a commercial, and I didn't know you were acting, and I think was it a John Deere
John
commercial?
Deere, yep, John
I'm
Deere.
literally sitting there, and I'm like, is that? And I mean, I don't know what we had at that time. I don't know if we had anything to rewind back or whatever it was, or if I
Right.
asked somebody, but I was like, I think I saw Ray in a John Deere commercial.
I love that.
And then somebody told me, they were like, yeah, he's into acting now, commercials now. I'm like, I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, but the dude looked just like him. So it was so cool to see you on a national commercial like that. And just to be like, I know that guy. I know
Man,
that guy.
I love that. My cousins, my little nephews, they used to always when they see me, and when people would see me, I just would laugh because I know what they thinking. Like, oh, there you go. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And I bet you now, like how I introduced you, people look at you and be like, Cookie's daddy.
man, I got the cookies daddy a couple times, man, and I laugh about it because it's funny. But yeah, it's to be able to play a role of an iconic person is just
Absolutely.
like is the best. It's the best feeling. Like when I knew I was going up for the role, I ain't tell nobody. I was like, because if I get this, and it was just one of those, just like it was a notch on the belt for me. Like, man, that's what's up.
For
Like,
sure.
and even from just that, the 5 episodes I played with or I was on there. I just got something back from Lee Daniels for an actual recurring role for another show he's working on. So
Wow.
once you start, it's like, man, like those small steps you take, you keep building those bricks and those relationships, and then things happen. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. So, what was it like working on the set of Empire? Like, what's it like
Empire was.
working with
You know what's funny?
Taraji and them?
Like, because Empire got a lot of a lot of scenes that most men are like, eh. And I said to myself today, like, I the one thing I've ever always done in the industry was like, I'm gonna be true to me. And if there's some roles I won't
Of
play,
course.
I don't do, just won't be a
Yeah.
part of.
Most deaf.
And when this came, I was like, he's a father, he's a good father, like he's a manly guy. I'm all for that. Let's do it. And I got a chance to sit down with her and just like she came in the trailer, and I was getting cut up or whatever, and she was like, "Hey, Daddy!" I was like, "Oh, that's all I needed. That was it. That's
That was
all I needed. That was it. I was in love right there. It's like that.
it. I
That's
love
it.
it.
This is great." And it was really cool because I'm playing a person in two different lifetimes for
Yeah.
her. I'm her
Mm.
I'm her younger dad. I've got a young Cookie, and then I've got the teenage Cookie.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and forth, like when we were happy and then when we weren't happy. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and when I was proud and loved them, all my babies, and kissed them and hugged them all the time, and then when she was dating Lucius and
Ooh,
bringing drug money in the house.
man, when you
So
when you came out that door with her luggage and said you got to go, I look, I was
oh man.
Cookie, and I was like, don't put me out. I mean, how did you feel in that moment? Like, did you have to channel something to
Yeah, it's
actually
always that.
feel like having to
Yeah.
get your daughter out?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know you got to channel your heart, your pain, and your life. So there's two big scenes I had to do in Empire, and both of them had me crying.
Mm.
So that was the first one, and it was hard. So I had to, and this girl was just so cute. She just reminded
She
me of
is
my daughter. She's just
adorable.
so cute, and I was just like, wow. And she, for her to come up and look at me in my face, and her
Woo,
eyes were so big,
they
I just
were.
made me cry. I was just like, it's done deal. But yes, you do. That's how. I just think about my mom. Like my
Mhm.
mom passed away of cancer, and all it takes is me to like talk maybe 5 minutes of her, and
Yeah.
then tears gone. And I
Yeah.
just, I sit on. It's so funny now. Maybe like I said back in the day earlier, I'd be like, I'm not gonna cry. It's gonna be tough. I can sit there, be crying on set while everybody's there fixing stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm still,
Yeah.
yeah, put that over there. And you just like waiting for it to kind of go. You just talking to yourself, like
Sure.
you're just zoning out a little bit, kind of just trying to move into it. And then they were great. They were great at how they were setting it up. And people got to understand, like I
Mm.
understand why Taraji was so like tired of that. Not tired in the sense of physically tired of that show. It is a lot. It's exhausting to be in that type of moment for so long. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It takes 2, 3, 4 hours to shoot one scene. So
Okay.
you got to continually do that over and over and over. Got to
Oh,
get different, cameras got to be here, cameras
different
there.
angles,
And
different
you got to
different
get
takes.
her coming in and talking, and that's still that same scene. So
Right.
you're doing that 3, 4 hours.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so imagine Cookie having or Taraji having to do that every week. The anger
Sure.
and the emotion, man. That's it's
Yes, it was intense.
it's
Yes,
exhausting on you, and you
absolutely.
wear it. You wear that person, and
Yeah.
that's the. I mean, like when they told me I got it, I went and like did you know research on her father,
Yeah.
and then I pulled in a couple other fathers that I knew in my past.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was a military guy, so he was real stern,
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. Then my girlfriend in high school, her dad was a truck driver, had his hat on all the time. So, looking at me crazy every time I walked around, just like I was Lucius or something. So I was like, this is perfect. I got something to draw from. So,
Yeah.
and that's what I did. I literally did that the whole time, and it was great because they show you mad love when you deliver.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
so yeah. That's
Yeah.
when they call you back, that means you delivered. That means
That's right.
the
Oh, you
storyline.
delivered. You
So
delivered for sure. Like I said, I felt like you put me out. So, so, so you
I got some
delivered.
calls about that. They was like, this last one, the last one, they was like, boy, the one tear though, the one when you had the one tear. I was like, oh my
I
god.
love it. I love it. So, out of all of the experiences you've had with modeling and or with your acting career, so you've done commercials, you've done film, you've done TV. Which is your favorite?
Oh well, I would say commercial because the money is lovely. But I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just being honest. You work, 8 to 9 hours, and then every time the commercial played, you get the
Okay.
residual.
Okay.
So
That makes
yeah.
sense because I was
Oh,
like,
when
how
you
would a
see those,
commercial?
yeah, when you see those national spots, and when I hear people from all over the world be like, "Man, I just saw you," I'll be like, "Where you at? New York? Appreciate you.
You check it.
Like, appreciate that. Okay. All
All
right. Let's
right.
go. But
Wow, I never knew that.
yeah, but when you do an actual, something like an empire, not even say empire, it's something I did like once. Something like once. Uh whatever. I don't know. Chasing Ryan. Chasing Ryan was one on NBC one time. Uh you get paid for the day. You get a late royalties.
Okay.
Into your SAG, pension
Yeah.
stuff like
Hmm.
that, which is great. And that's the thing that you just got to continually putting those on your resume, even if it's a
Right.
short role or a small role. Man, put it on your
Right.
resume. Commercials put you in the union. And I just found out. I know a ton of people in the industry. I just found out in the SAG union now that influencers are going to start becoming SAG, and that's huge. That's
Wow.
that's incredibly huge. I'm 15
Whoa.
years in the union, meaning that you
Yeah.
have benefits,
Hmm.
pension,
Hmm.
and you're qualified actor as an actual artist. Now they're allowing influencers to come into that to
Wow.
make.
How do you feel about that?
You know what? It's one of those things, man. It's the transitioning of the industry.
Okay.
It's just going to happen, and influencers are building themselves and getting branded and getting sponsorships and promoting brands, and
Most deaf.
so well, at the same time, if I was an actor that was invested as much, I would be a little disappointed because it feels
Sure.
like I'm getting pushed out a little bit,
Yeah.
and the younger crop are coming in, and we're changing rules for them. Yeah, so it's a give and take on both ends. So I see
Yeah.
both sides of it, with my business
Definitely.
now. So, but I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing because it is very difficult to get in and stay in the union. Everybody thinks, oh, I got my SAG
Mm.
card. Well, you have to do that every year.
Yeah.
You have to
Okay.
continually create that
Okay.
same income to get in to be in SAG every year.
Okay.
And a
Okay.
lot of people
So,
don't know that. Yeah. So
yeah. Yeah, no, I imagine with everything now, going towards digital, you
that
have
changed
to
everything.
has changed the whole entire board. So it makes sense that now that's moving towards, the SAG and the acting. But let's talk about what you're doing in the digital world right now. FCF. Tell
Yeah,
us
man.
all about that.
Oh my God. This is I guess out of all the things that I've done, this is probably the hardest put
Yeah.
overall. Like this was an idea four of us came up with. I have three co-founders. We never knew each other. I was in Chicago. Um, Literally went to a semi-pro football game, and I'm watching the game, and I'm like, this is horrible. It's completely horrible.
Is
And
it
so
horrible? So is it horrible because you played at the highest level, or
the
was it
coaching was just
horrible?
awful.
Okay.
The coaching was just, and I was there to see a friend, so I was going to talk to the team afterwards. So
Sure.
the coach, the team was it was bad. So I go down to the field, and I'm like, man, hey, do my little spiel and talk to the guys. I'm like, hey, coach, do you mind? I get your phone number. He's like, sure. I was like, I was like, you all mind running a couple plays for me? And he was like, okay. And so he thought he was going to call. I went right back up in the stands, and I looked at him, and I was like, run a sweep. And I texted him, run a sweep. And he was like, run a sweep. They ran a sweep. And I was like, run a play action pass. Text him one play action pass. He ran the play action pass. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I could control a football game via text.
Hmm.
Boom, went home. It's like, boom, I've got it. Start putting it
Okay.
together. Start putting it together. Had some friends help me out with a beta test with an app. It literally showed me how to put together a beta test app. I mean, probably one of
Wow.
the like this guy is just he's still amazing. He's still a part of what we're doing. But literally put together an app that 4 plays would come up. Long story short, made it work. Short
Wow.
story, ran out of money, couldn't do anything with it. Put it on the shelf. Ran into Tony Parrish. Oh, you remember Tony
Yeah, yeah, yeah. TP.
DP,
Hmm.
and to have it out to dinner, man. He was so what you working on? And I was just like, I wasn't even gonna tell him. I was just like, man, I got this idea for this, and I, running play, fans
Yeah.
calling plays for a football team. And he was like, I got a buddy, man, that was just in LA talking about that. He owns an indoor
Look at
football
that.
team, and he was thinking the same thing. I just got nervous. I was like, "Oh my God, somebody's working on this." And he was like, "Well, no, he was just talking about it." And he put us in touch. He was like, "Hey, can you fly out to LA tomorrow?" I'm like, "That's a $2,500 ticket, but yeah, sure." my wife was like, "My wife was like, go. You work too hard on this. You always still
Yeah.
talk about it. Go." I go meet with him. Go meet with two other guys that he actually went out and got. Like literally saw that they were doing something very similar.
Okay.
All four young guys. Oh well, they're younger than me. Um, we had an actual CEO, we had someone that know SEO, and we had an actual gamer and somebody to play football. And we're sitting there looking at each other like, and I had gotten the farthest with it than
Mm-hmm.
all of them, but we all had this idea in different brains.
Absolutely.
And so we had the ingredients to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the biggest thing is like, do you have the core ingredients to make this thing work?
Yeah.
And the number one is a network. That's the number one thing that I've learned to this day with anything that I talk about is you are only strong as your network.
That is so true.
I'm
So
telling you.
true.
I'm telling you that right there changed everything.
And that's because you don't have all of the answers. And so
You don't.
you need to have a team of people or people that you can call your network to source from
And they got
because
to
you
be
don't know it
smarter than
all.
you. Yeah,
Oh,
and they got to be smarter than you.
most def.
They cannot be. Their presence has to have an impact on what you're working on. And if it doesn't, then there's no reason to have that person there. That's I mean that's what I've learned. Like the network that we have has been incredible. So
Yeah.
in 2017, we raised a whole bunch of money to actually make this thing work. We wanted fans to run an actual football team.
Okay.
Period. From the
Okay.
bottom
Okay.
up.
From
Picking the logo,
drafting. Oh, oh,
picking the
oh,
name, picking the
oh,
logo,
you mean
picking
from
the
the from
cheerlead
the
from
bottom,
the
bottom, bottom.
bottom to the top, picking the
Wow.
coaches. I had a dozen virtual Zooms. This was before Zoom. This is 7 years ago. This is a set. This
Okay.
was 2013 when we started this.
When you started, okay.
2013, and our second game was last week. That's what I mean. That's how long it's taken us to get
Man.
here and for this thing to work. So
Okay. All right.
we 2017 we went into the indoor football league. We allowed the fans to make the logos, the name, the cheerleaders, pick the coaches, and then I did national combines, tryouts all over the country, and we videotaped all the players and let the
Okay.
fans pick the teams based off of the videos.
Wow.
We put the team together, and then ultimately we developed an app that allowed the fans to call the plays from home. So they were actually controlling this football game from picking a play from home. And so we were in this. We did this for the entire season. The team was 5-7, 5-7, but we lost 3 games within field goal.
Okay.
But the offense that the fans created was the number one offense in that league that year. So the fans
Wow.
had the best offense in that league, and they found the top quarterback in that league. So fast forward, we knew we had a product. We were in the wrong place to do it.
Okay.
That league did not want us doing it.
Okay.
Fans beating other coaches does not look good on my resume. So we had to figure something out. And we were going to go to Las Vegas. We partnered up with Caesars, and we were going to do something right behind Bally's. We were going to do a whole stadium and everything. Pandemic hits.
Oh.
Boom. And what do we do? And we've always had this idea of a league in a box.
Okay.
So before the actual bubble, the NBA created the bubble, we already had the bubble in our mind, but it was a
Okay.
box. We called it a box. And so what we decided to do is we went to Atlanta. We put together 100 players, and we recruit them from all over the
I
country.
was gonna say, where'd you get them from?
Same thing. HBCU schools, University of Tennessee,
Okay.
University of Georgia. I got one guy from South Carolina. I got one guy that played with the Giants, 2 guys that played for the Falcons, one guy played for the
Okay.
Browns in our bubble. And so with the quarantine, which has made it very difficult, we had to change, and a lot of things had to make sure that we took care of the players. So
Okay.
no one can leave at this bubble. No one can go in this bubble. And so everything is done inside this bubble, from staffing to our production, because we're doing a ton of content and whatever not. So these guys have been in quarantine for 120 days, and they're now out playing the games. And now we have the fans actually creating these teams. So we have 4 teams. These are the logos behind me. I don't know if
All
you can see
right.
them.
Yeah.
The Zappers, Glacier Boys, the Beast, and Wild Aces. And now, when you think about regular like Chicago Bears and the New York Jets, that's how fandom has always been. We had to figure out, well, how are we going to have 4 teams? They're all in the same place, have people get to know them. So
Yeah.
each one of these teams has team owners.
Okay.
The Glacier Boys are owned by Richard Sherman and Quavo. The
Okay.
Beasts are owned by Bob Minnery and Trevor May. Trevor May is a baseball player. Bob May is a content creator. The Beasts have Marshawn Lynch and Renee Montgomery. So
Okay.
so what we decided to do is use the influencers and
Mm,
time and celebrities fanship to come and create their own fanship within the team. So
I
that's
like it.
that's how we've gone forward with this, and it's been incredible. We've our first game was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We had 1.6 million people watching.
That's
Um,
awesome.
we've got some really great partners: Progressive Insurance, Gatorade, Champion. That's why I'm wearing a Champion. And a Champion, Varoom, IBM.
Okay.
It's been, yeah. So we've got this will be our last game was last week. We had 800,000 people watching,
Okay.
which is we're still in our plus. We're doing better than we thought we have, and
Sure.
if we continue to stay on this road, then we're just talking fan control football now, but soon we'll be talking fan control soccer, fan control
Mm-hmm.
hockey, and
Yeah.
people love sports all over the world. We were watching the chat, and you see people from Fiji and Canada and Australia
Yeah.
watching us, and people are like, well, where do you find you? I don't know if you know a lot about Twitch, but Twitch is a video game platform. It's probably the number one platform in the world. They
Okay.
get over 1.6 billion hits every day. So
Every day.
yeah, Twitch is one of our partners, and they own they're part of the company. But if you want to come see the games, you can go to our app FCF or
Okay.
go to twitch.tv/FCF, and it's
Gotcha.
great. It's great. It's just it's like a video game. It's like a live video game.
So say for instance, I want to be a part of it.
Yep.
I go onto Twitch, get an account or something
Yep.
like that.
Yep. You can
Okay,
go to
and
yep. You
then
can go to Twitch. Oh, you should already have a Twitch account. But if you just want to go to our website,
okay,
fcf.io, you can pick your team, and then or you can download the app. Same thing. Go in the app.
okay,
The app is in Google Play and in the App Store. So we have
okay,
iOS and Android.
okay.
So yeah, and just download the app, pick your team, and you can just start calling plays when the games are at 7 o'clock, or excuse me, 8 Eastern on
Okay.
Saturdays. You can check out Twitch and then start calling plays.
Start calling your plays. Now, how are plays selected?
That's great. That's a great idea. Well, so the thing that we don't encourage our fans to come in weekly, just to come in and call plays. The Twitch Twiniverse,
Yeah.
they consume content, and
Yes.
a lot of people a lot of times like, man, you own a football league. I'm like, no. You own a tech company? I'm like, no, we own a media company,
Mm-hmm.
because we're trying to create content. So
Content. Yeah.
we have tons of shows inside that I'm an executive producer for. But
Got your producer cred.
got my producer credits, man. We got 5 great shows in there in the bubble, and we even have some of our players that are hosts for them. With me being and
Okay.
having my background, I really stress the more than an athlete, and
Mm-hmm.
I call it the afterlife. That's my new brand that I'll be working on.
I
But
like that.
it's thinking about your transition, and instead of thinking about your transition, you're working on your transition as you're playing. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of players that are entrepreneurs in that play for us. Some want to be actors and models. So weekly, I have certain people come in and talk to the players, from casting directors to
That's awesome.
broadcasters to agents, sport agents. Had a couple people in the NFL, and it's just like I want to use. People used to always ask me, like, what did the NFL do to you? And I'm like, well, besides 2 bad knees and a shoulder, and a lot of other stuff, I got a network. I got access
Yeah.
to a
Absolutely.
network
For sure.
that most people won't be able to get to. So that is what we want to create with the FCF is a platform for these players to use our platform and get as much exposure as they possibly can. So, and we giving them the opportunity. What we got a show in there in the bubble called Deep Fade. Deep Fade is basically one of our barbers sitting down talking to the players as he's cutting his hair,
Oh, I love
and
it.
and then one of our other players was cutting hair on the side in the hotel. We put him on the show and made him a now he's got his own credit in
Wow.
our show. You know what I'm saying? So it's like finding opportunities like that for our players. Some of our guys got apparel lines, so
Hmm.
when you see me on camera, I'll have some of their stuff on. If it's not this or these,
Yeah.
I'll wear the players. I'm like, man, 1.6 million people are watching this, so I'll be happy to wear your stuff and shout you out. You
You
know,
know what
so
all of this, I'm listening to it, and because you played with the NFL, and I was married to an NFL player, so understanding how the Shield was always number one in the NFL, like nothing came before the Shield. Okay, so I think we saw that a lot with the Colin Kaepernick
mhm.
situation and everything, where people just don't understand that it's the Shield is above all.
Yep,
And so I'm listening, and two, like nothing can come before the Shield, nothing will outshine the Shield. So players are, unlike, I would say, more like in the NBA, where you can see their face and they can
right.
brand themselves and they
Yep,
can, do different things. Not in the NFL.
yep,
Not in the NFL.
yep.
So what I like what you're doing, and I'm listening to it, and is that you're allowing your guys and your players, the people who actually come and are putting in the work and giving
That's
you
right.
all the content, you're allowing them to leverage that platform,
Mhm.
leverage the FCF to brand themselves, and to, like you said,
Yep,
depending if they got businesses, if they got, other talents, but basically allowing them to use that to help them get to other things. that's
absolutely.
that's the complete opposite of what the NFL
And that's what I
gives to players.
and that's what I learned. And you totally right. That's exactly why I tell all the players like, yes, I'm the commissioner of the league, but I'm your biggest mouthpiece. So if you've
Yeah,
got something you're working on, I'm a walking billboard. I don't model for every company out there, and the only ones I'm doing it now are these and these
yeah,
because these pay us. But but that's the way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm there for them because that is if you create equity from the inside out,
that's
then
right.
people gonna want to come and play
They
here.
will be your lifelong brand ambassadors.
They'll be your influence. These are our micro influencers.
Hmm.
We got 120 micro influencers.
Hmm.
They could be good or bad,
That's
and
right.
that's why we wanted to create. We got a guy and I told him, I gave them this whole spiel. I was like, look, on a Zoom, everybody, if y'all working on something, you doing something, you come see me, you talk to me, I want to see your business proposal. If you don't know, just email me and tell me what you want to work on, and I'll
Yeah.
see what I can help you with. One guy hits me up, is like, Commish, I make gloves, football gloves for kids in lower communities because they can't afford some of the football equipment to play.
Sure.
I'm like, you want to make our gloves?
Mm.
And he got our deal. So the gloves that you see on the players are his gloves.
That's
Like he
it.
did business with us, and I even told the other players, like, I want to let y'all know, I done told this to y'all twice. I said, I called his name out and was like, he's already doing business with us.
Yeah.
So it's up to you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is an opportunity. It's just not about. I say this all the time. It's just not about football with us, and
Hmm.
that's what I
Hmm.
want them to understand. Like, it's not all
Absolutely.
about football. Take this opportunity and meet. I've got some of our, my CTO coming to talk to him, my CEO coming to talk to him. Like, we open up. We transparent to the
Yeah.
players so they can see, like, oh, come and be a part of what we're doing. Y'all
Yeah.
come and open up the door so you can see what you guys created.
I love that. That is, I mean, just hearing you explain that and just understanding and knowing what you're giving back to the players and allowing the players to do that, that is awesome. That to me is, and I know you're probably already doing it, but just being a branding expert like I am, is that right there is what will resonate with a lot of people, is that piece that you are giving back to your players and allowing your players to leverage, because it is. I mean, you're giving back to the ones that are giving to you. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
one
And
hundred
so
percent,
it's just
100.
that's
That's the
dope.
worst thing, man. When excuse me, Carmen, is
Hmm.
you play ball and then you're still chasing it,
Mm.
and it broke up with you, but you still chasing it,
Mm.
and
Yep.
then you give up these 5 6 years of good work time that you don't get a chance to really make a resume, and now you're competing with somebody that's younger than you that has that's probably a fan of yours
Yeah.
gets a job before you. And
Right.
I got so sick of seeing my old like teammates of ours and
Hmm.
that weren't doing things that they wanted to do in life.
Right.
And I'm like, man, if I'm gonna be put in this position right here, I'm gonna make sure that I open up those doors, the same doors that was open to me, my agents, my cat. Like, come on, I got we they were with a casting director last night, one of the top casting directors
Hmm.
in LA, has a partnership with IMDb. Came and talked to them. He was on set, went to the clock, office
Yeah.
and talked to them for 25 minutes, and was telling them about the industry and stuff like that, and was like, "If you coming through Ray, I will absolutely help you." I'm like, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is so dope. So again, tell the listeners and viewers how they can find FCF and how they can become a part of it.
Yes, go to FCF.io. It's very simple. Pick your team, start calling plays. Watch where we play on Saturdays, 8 Eastern on twitch.tv/FCF. And you can check me out at Ray Austin 36 on all the social stuff. And so, yeah.
Yeah. So what's next for Ray Austin's?
Oh, I, I've got one other thing I'm working on. um, I'm really excited about it because I
Okay.
always say the next thing I do will be because I've done it. I've done enough to that now I can be a philanthropist. So where I
Okay.
can be like, boom, 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 I can just be that person. Like that's my next move. When I want to get this right now, I'm really focused on this, and I think
Hmm.
in 2 years we will have a solid coming. We were the number one app in sports in Apple Store
Wow,
2 days
that's
in a row.
huge.
Two days,
Yeah.
2 days in a row. We was over NBA and ESPN. We were number one for 2 days in a row. So I just want to keep, if we can, this really become a thing and uh, make it international. And
Yeah.
I really, this is our baby right now. It's still trying to
Sure.
walk.
Yeah.
And once we get it up and running, and then
Yeah,
I,
you get some more children.
yeah, then I can get another kid. Then I can go work on this one and get this one up and running. But I think back in the day, besides still, I still audition and I still, I'm still with it. I fly out to Ariat or Oakland once a month
Okay.
and shoot with Ariat, and I still audition for stuff. Like I auditioned for Cobra Kai yesterday,
Oh my
raising
gosh.
yeah, raising Dion the other day, two weeks ago, and I just finished something last Monday for Lee Daniels. He's working on
Okay.
something like it's like the Wonder Years, and
Oh,
yeah,
well,
so
good. I mean, I know you are a busy man, so I appreciate your time that you've given me today to talk about all the wonderful things you're doing.
hey, I wasn't
This
trying to big time you. I was just like, man, I gotta sit it away. I gotta push it back because we had so much stuff going on,
No,
and
I
I
know
swear
you
to God,
did.
it was so much going on, and I'm like, look, I was like, that day, my Mondays, because the players are all. I do the same thing. Players off on Monday,
Yeah.
so they're
Okay. You
they're
give.
chilling. So
Oh,
I'm,
you give them Mondays instead of Tuesdays.
yeah, I gotta get Mondays stuff too. Short week, short week.
Short week. Yes. No, no. I know you wasn't trying to big time me, but no, I just appreciate your time. I love all the wonderful things you're doing. It's just so exciting to see you transition from the NFL into this next part of your career and then giving back to the players and teaching them how to transition and leverage to do the same. That's, in my opinion, that's what we're here for. We're here to use our experiences, our life experiences to help others.
That's
So
it. Yeah.
it's dope.
That's what's up, and shouts out to you. Like, listen, man, I know how tough it is to get things going to start, and I've been watching. You've been doing a great job. I mean,
Thank
it's a
you.
consistency that most people forget about. But I've seen you, take this thing, and I've watched some of the people that you had. So I was like, let me check it out first. I was like, all
Yeah,
right, okay, okay,
she
okay.
legit. Mm.
Because, man, I can't tell you how many people ask me to do this. I'm like, oh man, okay. When
I'm
you when you
sure.
say when you sit the stream yard, I was like, all right, she knows what she doing. she knows.
What have you gotten before? People just sending you what?
Uh, I'm not even gonna tip, man. Oh my gosh.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I mean, this is definitely something that I had been thinking about doing, and I kind of dragged my feet, but I knew I wanted to be a storyteller. I wanted to share people's stories and just to talk to people and just because that's how I learn. I learn through people's
Yeah,
stories. I get inspired
100.
through people's stories. So I wanted to create my program to share all of that. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words. It means a lot.
Real talk. 100.
Awesome. Well,
100.
I'm going to let you go. But before we do, one last time, tell the listeners and viewers where they can find you if they want more information.
Yes. RayAustin36.com. That's my website. See all the fun stuff I've done. And FCF.io. Twitch.tv/FCF. You can watch the games. Download our app in the Apple Store, Google Play, FCF. You can't miss it. It's like number one, number two. I don't know. We'll see.
Love it. All right. Thank you so much, Ray. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Appreciate you, Carl.